Welcome everyone to this first Middle East webinar for Revizto. And we're going to discuss Revizto as the prime BIM collaboration platform. So some of you don't know the platform, the product, and we're going to deep dive it in an hour. I start with presenting quickly myself. So I am Nabil Nouga. I'm overseeing Revizto in the Middle East and Africa. I'm based in Dubai, and I have some experience in the industry. So I started in the energy, power generation, as well as petrochemical, nuclear, and food and beverage. A bit of water treatment. I was lucky to work on those industries as a piping designer, coordinator on projects, as well as superintendent, managing construction on site. And in 2011, I joined Autodesk, where I spent almost 12 years working with named accounts. I started in Switzerland back in 2011. And in 2014, I moved to Dubai, and I'm still there. So in Dubai, I was point of contact for large accounts. I was also doing pre-sales, partner enablement, and you can see some of the names that I used to support. And 4 months ago, I joined Revizto, and today I am with my colleague Peter, who's gonna introduce himself.
Thank you, Nabil. Hello everybody. My name is Peter. I'm the technical resource essentially for the EMEA region. Obviously, that includes the region Nabil supports. My role really is to help any Revizto user, client, or company to make sure that Revizto is implemented efficiently at their company. So yeah, I help with anything that they need, training, project setup, troubleshooting, etc. My background is in the AEC industry as well. I worked as an architectural technologist for a few years in architectural practice. Prior to that, I actually ran my own building company, building houses. So I have the practical skills as well before the architectural technology side. Then I went and worked for contractors, Skanska, namely as a BIM manager and design manager for a number of years. And 3.5 years ago, I joined Revizto. So I have a fairly well-rounded experience within the industry to help support my clients. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks to you, Peter, for being here. And I'm going to start with a quick introduction of Revizto, what it is as a platform, as a game changer in the BIM industry, as well as some updates and what's in the roadmap. And then we are lucky to have Peter today, who's going to demonstrate a little bit the product. We'll start with the desktop version. He's going to show the main functionalities. Obviously, in an hour, a product like Revizto cannot be shown in detail. So he's going to show the main functionalities. And then he's going to move quickly to the mobile app. And we will try to keep some time for open Q&As so that we can you can ask any questions. So Revizto is a BIM collaboration platform where you can visualize your 3D models, a lot of different source files, and we'll come back to it. And originally, it has been built on top of Unity. So Unity, as maybe some of you knows, it's heavily used in the gaming environment, and Revizto is basically leveraging this power, the gamification power, to facilitate and make it easier, especially when you need to access complex organization of models and 2Ds and documents together. Revizto make it simple. So it's one single product, one single access, where you will do multiple things. So first of all, in terms of visualization, you can access, as soon as your models are vacuumed in Revizto, you can basically access to it from different way, from your desktop machine, workstation, from tablets, mobile, even virtual reality is ready as soon as a project is in Revizto. You can have an immersive experience because when you install Revizto, you also have Revizto VR coming along. But it's not only the visualization, it's also the data and the metadata. The non-graphical element is going to be there as well. So you can do a lot of operation that Peter will quickly show in terms of querying the databases, doing some reporting, dashboarding in order to extract specific information quickly that you need. So with one single platform, you can do multiple things, but those things, those actions are connected and dynamic each other's. So basically, from one single workspace, you can query, you can interrogate, ask a question. It embeds an issue tracker, which is basically a sort of a WhatsApp for engineers, where you can add documents and track the whole thread history in there. And this is dynamically connected to other features like the clash automation, and we'll get back to it. And everything is placed in 3D coordinate system in Revizto, which is a lot, and reduce the cost of context switching, because as you know, everything is digitized now. We can order, different things even in your life, like, order food or book a ticket for a fair or something. And we still on our work rely on multiple systems. We have to switch from the conceptual stage of a project. We need to switch from different systems to communicate and exchange ideas. And this from the conceptual stage until advanced coordination method, where you need to resolve issues prior to construction. We rely on different technologies, which is not easy to manage. And we tend to see people coming back to normal emails and attach screenshot or give a phone call to request the right information in real time, which is not good because you have a loss of data and information, which is restrained only in the two people on the call or the people in the email. So it can become really annoying, especially when you have turnover in project, large projects in particular, because we always have turnover. People going on vacation, people going on maternity leave or leaving the company. And it's not easy to track, especially when, critical information resides on emails or WhatsApp or wherever. So Revizto is here to basically secure the data lifecycle from the conceptual stage to the commissioning, to the delivery of the project. So Revizto is OpenBIM. It's an OpenBIM product with OpenBIM philosophy. So downstream, mainstream, you can connect to different systems and file formats. Most of the authoring tools that you see on the left side are automatically plug and play accessible from Revizto. As soon as you export or you vacuum the data from these models, you can directly work on it in Revizto without any effort. And you can also connect to CDEs that you see on the right side, the most famous ones like ACC BIM 360 Box, Procore, SharePoint, and we keep adding CDEs and file format upstream. When I say file format, you can even aggregate different file format together in one single workspace, and they will all become Revizto entities to simplify the data bridging between those platforms. So As soon as you install Revizto, it will automatically install an add-on that will help you to push the data into Revizto. And you see we have also additional supported file format for point clouds, the traditional 2D format like PDFs and others. We can also export to BCF. And we have integrations with Aviva and others where you can basically directly visualize and manipulate a plant model from Aviva, E3D or PDMS out of the box. A bit on the product evolution. So Revizto has 13 years old on the market. I will not deep dive on all these features listed here. I just want to tell you the main ones who were really game changer in the BIM industry. In 2015, the ability to overlay 2D on the 3D was a big evolution on simplifying the access or the understanding of a project. And this is something that Peter is going to share quickly. CD integration as well. But the main, I would say, feature which totally disrupt the BIM technology was the clash automation in 2022, because it's a real accelerator, and I would say it's securing the way you resolve clashes and speed up dramatically and distribute it in a very smart way to everybody involved in those clash resolution. And this is something we're gonna touch as well. And recently we have the fully functional mobile app, and we will also discuss that later, because it's also bringing Revizto or even your project in your pocket on site, and we'll show that. Quickly on metrics, so Revizto has a rapid growth. Currently, we are deploying forces around the globe, and now it's like more than 6 million lines of codes, more than 30,000 active projects on the platform. We are reaching 300,000 users globally, and we have an impressive renewal rate. And we will explain why. I will basically list why our customers stay with us. And the organic growth is also impressive. We basically doubled the staff in 1 year, which is a sign of interesting growth. On the split of the market, obviously the mature BIM region are adopting quickly Revizto. So North America, US, Canada, UK, in Europe, as well as some other countries like Germany, and some of the countries in APAC, like Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, and we see also rapid adoption in the Middle East at the moment, especially for giga project, because Revizto is the only solution for very large 3D BIM models. Why people stay with Revizto? There is also a reason which is more on the philosophy of the company. It's a human-centric company. So internally and externally, we focus a lot on people behaviors and people feedback. So internally, the people who are supporting Revizto every day have been selected in a process which take a little bit more time than you can see on the market. So basically, Revizto wants the best in the industry, and we are lucky to have Peter today, and he's gonna show a little bit, Revizto by himself. And even for the development of the features, we care a lot on your voice, and every single update or enhancement is meaningful for all the clients. So that's also something important to mention. And the implementation team, and Peter is part of it. You can see some of the names here. They are all coming from the industry. They all have at least 10 or 15 years experience working on project delivering real assets from the firms that use BIM on an advanced way. So they are really aware of all the challenges that you are experiencing every day, and we keep adding resources on horizontal industries. It's not only for buildings now; it's also for infrastructure. We have a lot of infrastructure projects as well as power generation now, oil and gas, water treatment, and this is something that Revizto can easily handle. So the development process is very agile at Revizto. As soon as an idea is submitted, it can be quickly implemented. Since I joined, I've seen some features that have been escalated on Monday and fixed on Thursday, which is something unprecedented. I personally experienced myself. And on the roadmap, we have some interesting things coming. The export scheduler, which is the feature that allows you to automate the vacuuming process from all your authoring tools to Revizto, is going to be revamped and soon available, the new version, and you will have more control and granularity on the way you select what do you want to automate as export. As well as custom status from the issue tracker. This is something that has been even from the Middle East, and we're going to have soon the ability to have other status than open, closed, in review, and so on and so forth. The checklist also, we're going to have the ability to manipulate checklists, create own checklists from a project perspective, and with the combination with the mobile app, it's going to be a game changer, especially for snagging or returning information from the site, especially during the completion or the commissioning of the project. And this is coming. There is already a workflow to do such currently with the platform, but the checklist is going to ease it dramatically. And interoperability, we're going to have a new API to connect with Revizto, to bridge Revizto with other systems, especially visual dashboarding systems. And we are underway to get the SOC 2 certification for cybersecurity. In terms of cloud, so by legacy, Revizto sits on top of Amazon Web Services, but we are not restricted in some areas. We can deploy where AWS is present, so we can quickly set up a Revizto instance, and we already work with AWS in the UAE and any other location in the world. And it's not only AWS. We tend to be data center agnostic, and we are in discussion, in advanced discussion, I would say, especially in Saudi, to deploy soon Revizto on top of the available cloud facilities. We are also ISO 27001 certified in terms of information management, and we got regularly awards. We got one yesterday, an additional one from the UK, and we have some interesting clients using Revizto, different industries, different segments. You see some of the names here. Some are from the Middle East themselves, and they choose Revizto for multiple reasons. I told you at the beginning, it's a simple product, but able to handle large models. So when I say large model, it's hundreds and hundreds of Revit files, for example, combined with point clouds, combined with additional 2D elements or 3D additional file format in one single workspace. The performance is unprecedented because it's a new way of coding and the smart way to handle embedded files. As you know, Revit can embed a lot of different files, even file formats. Simplicity of the product also is something that helps our client. The user experience is always a positive feedback that we get from a client, and some workflows has been really simplified, especially the ability to generate in few clicks an as-built intelligent file from your project. It's also agnostic and neutral, so it's open BIM, and you have some interesting features like the switchback functionality that helps you to locate a specific issue or a specific location from Revizto into your authoring tool. And the overlaying 2D and 3D is also something that works with all the authoring tools where you have, layouts composed from the 3D model. And it's one single product, one single access. And if you compare in the industry, you would have to connect multiple modules or features from different products together from the, I would say, vendors available on the market. In Revizto, it's one single license, one single product to do these complex workflows, dynamic workflows, where you connect, the BIM team with the design in particular. We have much less turnover at Revizto, so you don't really see new faces, and especially faces replacing somebody else, which helps a lot because in other organizations, you have more turnover and you always have to re-explain the full story, all the challenges that you have, and the journey between yourself and the company providing their product. And people like Revizto because it's an instant deployment mechanism. As soon as you are invited, you are part of the project and you can already access to all the iterations and even start to escalate or request information. So there is no deployment time, and the training is also accelerated in few hours if you are aware of the BIM terminologies and BIM systems. You can quickly handle Revizto in 2 to 3 hours. And we have many meaningful features regularly, and the update cadence is non-negligible. And everything is dynamic. So the issue tracker is dynamic with the rest of Revizto, the 2D part, the 3D part. And this is a big game changer, especially if you want to make sure the data is centralized within one workspace. And this is a quote. I just wanted to show you that quote. I let you read a quote coming from a director in North America, which shows a little bit, their feedback after, using Revizto, I would say not more than 2 years. And now they are deploying Revizto heavily in all their departments, even their contractors, subcontractors, external stakeholders, part of their project. They are basically using Revizto as their BIM collaboration platform. We had a field day recently in Dubai. It was in April, and it's an invite-only event. This one happened on 26th of April, and we invite guest speakers who are using Revizto on their project. And we had an interesting lineup of people from KEO, ALEC, the Red Sea, and ConstruBIM. And they just showcased a little bit how Revizto changed basically their life in their project. So ALEC is an enterprise client in the UAE. And I just put one slide for each guest speaker because they just mentioned how Revizto could accelerate and speed up the delivery and reduce especially the deadline in some occasion, and the KEO shown for the Scan to BIM project in Vietnam, for example, how Revizto could help to integrate all these elements together. ConstruBIM showcased how moving from Navisworks Manage to Revizto could save the deadline on the Mexico airport. And the Red Sea, it was one of the most impressive presentation from Ron. He basically mentioned how Revizto could help to manage large scale assets in details with a high LOD. Quickly on the mobile app, it's a fully functional mobile app. I apologize if the video is flickering because it's part of the PowerPoint. But it's just to show you, and Peter might spend a few minutes on that, to show you how this mobile app is fully functional. So you can do most of what you can do on the desktop application within the mobile app, and even the caching using the cloud system is impressive. You can cache I would say gigabits file in the cloud, and it's really smooth in your iPhone, basically. And you can, by the way, bring the whole project in your pocket, which makes a lot of sense today because everyone has a smartphone, and on the field, on the terrain, on the installation, during the commissioning, it's a game changer to have such a mobile app that you can access with your Revizto license to escalate issues, add documents, or propose an alternative on the project. You can download it using this QR code. If you have, it's available on Google Play Store and Apple Store. So feel free to take a screenshot of this slide, and I invite you to download it today. And you can come back to me later if you need the license. And now, after showing a little bit what is Revizto, we're going to have a demonstration from Peter. So Peter, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Nabil. Let me just share my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm going to run through some of the basic functionality of the application. I'm going to try and show you as much as I can in the time that we've got. So I'll be jumping in and out of a few of the different functions. As Nabil said, we won't have time to show you absolutely everything, but hopefully I'll give you enough of a flavour of what Revizto looks like, what it can do, to get you interested enough to want to learn more. So this is the Revizto application. Revizto, it's basically designed to gamify the design, the information that you've got, the model, essentially. So it's gamification of BIM, really. So with that in mind, I wanted to just run through very quickly the how to navigate the model, essentially, and not just the controls, but also some of the other tools which help with navigation generally. So we have different sort of modes, different ways in which you can navigate the model, depending on if you're a Revit user, etc. But we always try and encourage everybody to try the Revizto mode. And to show you how that works, it's very, very straightforward to use. So I'm just using my mouse to zoom in and out, have a look around, and I can press W on my keyboard, and that basically moves me quite quickly. In this case, I can adjust that to slow it down through the model. So you can press W to move forward, S back, A left, D right, and they're basically exactly the same as your PC gaming controls. You can also walk through the model. So if I activate walk mode, that centers you to the floor, and you can walk around. And yeah, it's very, very straightforward. You don't have to be a Revit user. I've just fallen down some sort of hole there. I'm just going to come back to the home view and turn walk mode off. Yeah, so as I say, anybody can use Revizto. You don't have to be a BIM sort of expert to be able to actually get to grips with and utilize this information. Some other useful ways for navigation also exist, apart from just obviously moving around the model. You have a map tool which basically cuts a section through the model. You can see the grids, you can turn those grids on and off, etc. Let me just come back out of here. We also have a rooms tool. So rooms, the things that exist in Revizto generally will come from the native model. So this is a building model, you know, not a massive project by any stretch, but certainly a decent size. So if the rooms exist and they've been modeled in the native model, for example, in Revit, then they'll come through into Revizto like this, and you can easily navigate to a room just by clicking on the room there in the list. If you want to turn off, you know, the room sort of tags here, you can just hide those. You can also search for rooms. So there was a room I wanted to jump into. Bear with me a second. So let's see, circulation. There's quite a lot of rooms in this project. Yeah, let's try this one. So this is a nice room. So as I say, you can just have a look around. You can also start to investigate what else is going on. So if you want to start looking at the sort of non-graphical information, the properties of the objects that exist here, you can select an object. You can activate the properties here, and you can see all of the properties that exist for this object. And the same with the rooms, similar thing. Everything is basically coming from the native model. You can actually add your own custom properties if you want to. I'm not going to go into too much detail there about custom properties, but as I say, you can actually add properties to objects. You can easily manipulate the model as well. So maybe I want to see what's going on underneath the floor. I can hide the floor. You can make things transparent. You can color things up, etc. And you can see what's happening. It's also very easy to section and measure things in Revizto. So if I wanted to measure the height of this room, let's just get my object tree up and unhide everything there. So we've got the measurement tool up here. If you want to take the room height, it's very straightforward. Oh, sorry, there's a nice undo button now. I didn't grab the end of it, so I can just grab the end of that. I can see what the room height is, or the distance between two objects. You can actually change the unit of measurement as well on the fly in here if you wanted to show that measurement in millimeters or something else. You can also measure the minimum distance between objects, which might be useful. There you go, that's calculated the minimum distance for you. And the measurement tool is fairly, you can do quite a lot with it. You can check slopes and things like that. It's also very easy, as I mentioned, to section models. So to use the section tool, you just select it. You can either just place it on an object, let go, and it will cut the section like that for you, and you can drag that up and down, or you can just double click on any object surface and it cuts the section like that for you. So again, this takes the idea back to anybody really can use Revizto. You don't have to be an expert to be able to do this, to cut sections and manipulate the model, etc. We also have something called appearance templates, and I am going to jump through. So we've sort of gone through the navigation side of it and measuring, sectioning, as I've just shown. we do have some more advanced features, which I'll just touch on, but I'm not going to go into too much detail. So we have something called appearance templates. And what appearance templates do, they allow you to create a particular visual override, essentially, and then just you can save that and click on it afterwards, which will help with coordination. So for example, if I get my object tree up here, so if I wanted to give that a color, give that another color, I'm just doing it fairly randomly here. Maybe make something transparent, but basically what I'm getting at here is you can do these things to manipulate the model, and then, as I say, you can save them. So if I activate one of these templates, so coordination template, I call this a coordination template because basically you're hiding the architectural model. I can actually see, if I wanted to, how I created this very briefly. So I've hidden the architectural model and I've colored the structural model pink and the MEP essentially different colors. So it's quite nice to be able to see what's going on. You can see if something's maybe clashing. It looks like there's something going on there. So as I say, it's quite a nice thing to be able to use when you're looking at particular disciplines in a project. So I'm going to create an issue now. Creating issues in Revizto is sort of one of the main purposes of it. You're creating an issue, and I just want to comment on the word issue. It's not necessarily an issue as it's a problem. It's just what we've called this tool essentially. So when you create an issue using a stamp here, in this case, I've identified a clash with this duct and that steel beam, so I can have a look at the correct issue, the correct stamp rather that I'm looking at. So I can look at this. It's a HVAC clash, and basically creating an issue using a stamp is really just creating an issue using a predefined template, an issue template is essentially. So what's just happened? I've created an issue, and all of this data has been automatically sort of logged and created when I created an issue using this stamp. If I jump over to my issue tracker, the issue tracker is essentially the sort of engine room of Revizto. So this issue that I've just created, I've found here in the list. It's at the top of the list. And what happened when I created the issue is a screenshot was taken of the model. Here it is. That's my markup view. I can also go back into 3D and have a look to see what's going on there. I can also look at 2D information. So this is really quite good with Revizto. Let me just hide the other issues there. So even though I created this issue in 3D, I can see where this issue is in relation to 2D and any 2D drawing basically that occupies that space. So I can select a different drawing. This is a section, and I can see where that issue is. So it's really useful and transparent to be able to look at everything in the context of 2D and 3D. You can mark things up, so I can say, right, let's edit this marker, let's fit it to the screen. Let's draw a box around here and just highlight what's going on. And even though, although I created this issue myself, the assignee is actually, the assignee is still, where are we? Peter. So let me change that to Mike. So I can now assign that to somebody. Mike's going to get that notification, and you can chat with each other. Please move the duct. So Mike will get a notification either by email or by just coming into the Revizto application and having a look at issues which are assigned to him. I've called this, let me reset that, my to-do list So these are the issues that are assigned to me because I'm, the current user using this. It's going to filter all the issues that are assigned to myself. Just jumping back to 3D. It's very easy to create search sets as well. So I'm not going to dwell too much on that, but search sets is quite a big thing for Revizto now, and the search sets actually drive clash detection as well, which we do have clash detection embedded within our application. If I have time, I'll show you that quickly, but we'll see how we go. But I'm just going to create a quick search set here to show you how easy it is to do that. So if I have a look at this this object is a floor essentially, so I can quickly create a search for that floor. It's just searching for Revit type category equals floor. So any object with that property basically will be found, and it's found 1,235 of those. And I can isolate those, and I can then create a search set from that search. So we call that a sort of reverse search set. It's quite a nice feature. So it's very, very easy. You don't have to be an expert, as I keep saying, to use this software. Let's have a look at 2D quickly, because that's obviously another key part of our application. So these drawings come from the native software, and they can come from Revit, MicroStation, ArchiCAD, Tekla, any software that we support with a plugin. You can actually bring in PDFs as well. So let's have a look at one of these drawings. So this is a plan view of one of the floor plans. Doesn't really matter which floor it is. There you go, ground floor. So you can have a look at this. You can interrogate it. You can take measurements if you wanted to. I'm not going to be sort of too clever about what I'm measuring here for this exercise. There you go. And then if I wanted to actually create an issue from this drawing with the measurement on it, I can do that, and I'm going to use my stamps again. I'm not going to worry too much about what this issue is about, but just again wanted to show you that you can take issues or create issues from sheets. So you can mark those up. So I can again mark that up further. Again, I'm not going to be too clever about the detail of this, but I think you get the idea. And again, I can see this drawing or where this issue is in 3D, even though I created it from 2D. So let's go back to 2D a second. I can search for content, which is sort of fairly recent, but not that recent an update. So let's just take this word lounge. Okay, let's go back to 2D. I'm going to type in the word lounge. Right, that's searching for any drawing with the word lounge in the drawing name, and it's not found anything. But if I click search content, it's now finding any drawing with the text lounge on that drawing. So basically what this enables you to do is find text from any drawing. If you've got hundreds or thousands of drawings in a project, that's really quite useful. Just conscious of time, let me open. I'm gonna open another project quickly. So that was a building project. I'm going to now open a civil project. So this is a civil project. We've got lots of different file types in here. We've got civil 3D models, MicroStation, SketchUp, IFCs, Revit files, you name it, it's in here. And Revizto, as Nabil mentioned, is really good at handling very, very large data sets. And this isn't the biggest data set I've seen in Revizto, but it's a sort of fairly decent sized road. Again, all of the properties are in here. And if I create an issue now here, let me just create an issue on this bridge. So that's created an issue. Jump to the issue tracker. There it is. Notice this information, this stuff in blue, grid, level, and zone. So in the building model, projects, rooms are quite a useful way to find information and to see where you are, and also levels. In civil projects, it's not really, you don't really have rooms or even useful levels, but what you do have are grids or chainage or alignment models, as they're also known. So to be able to find where things are according to which grid intersection it's next to is really useful. And also we have something called zones. So Revizto knows that issue that I created was in a particular zone, and I can now filter all of my issues here. So I've got 613 issues in this project. Now I can click on this intelligent location tag, really, click on that, and it's now showing issues in zone A2, and I've got 265 of those issues. And from that, you can then look at all of the dashboards, essentially. So each Revizto project has its sort of web interface called the Revizto workspace. And in here, you've got dashboards which are linking directly to the project. So you've got lots of, nice graphs in here to show you what's going on. So, the fact that we've got automatic location information means that you can create a chart which is showing us all of the issues by level and status. That's pretty impressive, I think. This one is showing me all of my clashes by clash test, and what status those issues are in that clash test. So I'm just going to use, if you bear with me 1 second, I want to show you the mobile phone application, but I need to quickly mirror my phone to my screen, which I did do earlier on, but it just drops out. It doesn't last very long. So bear with me 2 seconds. I'm going to just type this code in, 8976. I should be able to bring that up in a second. Right, there you go. There's my phone. Okay, so I've got the Revizto application there on my phone. I've got the Revizto application here on my PC. What project am I in here? I'm in my civil project. Okay, so yeah, I'm in my civil project here. That's good. So here's my civil project here on my phone. This phone app has been completely, designed from scratch to enable you to actually have projects like this on your phone in terms of navigation, etc. So these navigation controls are unique to the mobile app. So if I quickly create an issue here, I'm actually signed in as one of my aliases on my phone. So I'm going to do this, and I think that'll be the last thing I do before we open up for Q&A. I'm just conscious of time. It's 10 to 9 in the UK, so we've got 10 minutes left. So if I create an issue, where are we? So again, I'm not going to be too clever here. Drainage. Let's create an issue there. So I've created an issue there. It's going to assign that to Mike. Okay, so I'm Mike on my phone. I'm Peter, but I'm pretending I'm Mike on my phone, if you're following. So yeah, no, I'm on site. I'm having a look at what's going on. I want to have a look at my my issues here. So there you go. I've got an issue. Let's just find that one, 634. Okay, so there's the issue that's just been created for me, and I can, I'm going to say to Mike from my PC, Mike needs to move this chamber. Luckily for me, there's a spell check in here. I'm going to give it a priority. You can use all these different priorities and give things deadlines, etc. So all of that, hopefully you could see on my phone, everything's being, added all the time. So I say, okay, There you go. And that's probably as much as I can show you in the time that we've got left. But you know, as Nabil said, this is a fully functioning phone app with all of the same information. The 2D, 3D split is really cool as well. Again, this is unique to the mobile phone app. So where I'm you know, moving around on the model, I can see where I am on the sheet, and I can even just teleport to another part of the project from the sheet. Just double click and I'm in that spot. So as I said, there's no way near enough time to show you everything that Revizto has, but hopefully this has given you enough of a flavour of the functionality and what Revizto is capable of to get you you know, interested. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks a lot, Peter. So yeah, we are a bit pressed by the time. So we had that demonstration, and I think we're gonna quickly jump into the Q&A if you have questions. So maybe you can use the chat, or you know, maybe you can release the ability to speak. So yeah, feel free if you have any questions at the time. It's time now to speak. So yeah, waiting for questions in the chat. While we are waiting for questions, maybe Peter, you can just show one last feature, is the overlay, the 2D to 3D.
Oh,
this is something we didn't see.
How could I forget to do that? I must
yeah, there's a lot of other features like the camera share and others that we can you know, show that on another webinar.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I could have shown the overlay in that civil project, but actually there is you know, again, I could just go on for at least another hour showing you some of the stuff that Revizto is capable of, but this is quite nice to be able to show you. So the overlay and a couple of other things. So if we open this drawing, so this is a drawing of a plant room. The overlay is when you know you have an overlay, or the thing that shows you that there is an overlay associated with a viewpoint on a drawing is this greenhouse button. You can also, if you wanted to, you can quite easily search for you know, drawings that have overlays and don't have overlays. But let's just open that one again. So let's have a look at this. Okay, this is a section detail. I would be hard pressed to find this, you know, on a large project, but I can very easily find that in the model. So it's overlaying that drawing in the model here. You know, you can drag that back if you wanted to through the model. You can also detach the sheet and drag the model, you know, back through the drawing to give you, you know, the visual that you're after. Let me also select something in the model and get the properties up. So this is quite nice actually. What I'm showing you here is a Revizto or a design, you know, model essentially, but you've got a lot more than that. We've got a 2D drawing, we've got a point cloud, we've got a Revit model, and we've got the non-graphical information all in the same place. I think, you know, even though I've been doing this now for almost 4 years, I find that very impressive to have all that, you know, in the same environment. Point clouds I didn't even mention before, so you know, an opportunity to briefly talk about that now. We fully support point clouds. Let's get rid of that section. So you know, this is a point cloud essentially that I'm clicking on there. That's a design, you know, model. That's a Revit model or an object as part of a Revit model. And the fact that I can section, which I've just showed you, that you can section point clouds is pretty useful, and also to be able to measure, you know, things. So I can measure the distance between, you know, that edge of that slab to this area, to that wall. That's pretty useful as well. Anything else major that I missed, Nabil?
Yeah, maybe the clash detection, but maybe it requires.
Yeah, well,
sometimes.
I can very
Yeah.
quickly show, a clash test. So this is our clash detection module. There's a clash test that's been created previously, just using the search sets. So we've actually taken the whole of the structural model and the whole of the fire model. Some of these clashes have already been created as issues, but just to show you, what that looks like in terms of the clash, the individual clash there. What's really useful and powerful about our clash detection is the automatic grouping. So we're grouping here by element ID and proximity. You can group by lots of different types of things actually. So I can edit this on the fly if I wanted to, but you can see all the different methods of grouping here. To group by room is a good one for a building project. Again, the civil infrastructure project, you can group things by the grid intersection, or even by a property condition. So maybe by the layer property of a civil 3D file, which most things should be modeled on a particular layer. So anyone that understands civil 3D and AutoCAD layering will know what I'm talking about there. So there's that, and then there's the actual filtering of the issues. So I've got a lot of issues here, across lots of different levels. But if I wanted to find, all of my clashes just on the ground level for today, here they are. I can highlight those issues there on the ground level. So again, these are my clashes between my structural model and my fire model. So that's a pipe going through a I need to turn on my transparent objects. I should be able to do that. There you go. So I've got my properties here. This is a steel pipe. It's part of the fire protection wet system classification, and that's going through the slab. So maybe that's not a real clash, because in this case the modelers aren't going to be modeling the hole through the slab. So yeah, I think that's that gives you the sort of gist of it.
Yeah, and also something important to highlight to the audience is the fact that the clash automation is collaborative. I mean, every operation that is made is visible and has a permission level to the entire users invited to the project, which is a big game changer, especially in
Yeah.
terms of fidelity and credibility of the information. That means you are not caching the federated model in a client machine, which happens with other clash resolution software that you know. This is part of Revizto. It's a collaborative space, especially for the clashing, and this resolves a lot of misunderstanding, especially during, clash detection approach, even if it's with build assets versus incoming assets. It releases a lot of pain, especially for external stakeholders within the project, to have that collaborative approach on clash detection.
Yeah, exactly. And it goes further than that in terms of control. You can actually specify who has access to the clash tests. So yeah. you don't have to have everybody visible within the clash detection area. But once you create an issue from a clash, then it gets sent to the issue tracker, and it's all there to be found. So I can filter, for example, all of my clash issues. There you go. I've got 1008 clash issues in here.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like we're on or just over the time. Do we have any questions, or?
I think we don't have any questions, so people are very silent.
And satisfied, hopefully, because
hopefully,
yeah, if there are no questions, we've answered everything for them.
Exactly. There may be just one thing to mention before closing the session today is the fact that we're gonna have another field day in Riyadh in 23rd of November. So I invite you to register. I can eventually uh, paste past put you the link in the chat so that you can and feel free to come back to me or Peter or whoever from Revizto if you want to know more about a product, if you want a trial license, if you want to mobile app, if you need some white papers, documents to understand Revizto, if you want that presentation, uh, feel free to come and hopefully we will see you in Riyadh in November. Yeah, I think I'm checking. There is no question, so it's fine. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks a lot, Peter, and looking forward to continue the Revizto discovery for you very soon.
Thanks, Nabil.
See you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.